Dude, I promise you.
I don't know about this one.
Dude, trust me. When we find those diamonds, we'll never have to work another day in our lives.
Alright, but this better work, I swear to God.
What is that? Luckily, when the cave collapsed, me and Mapicc managed to survive. We were now stuck in a cave with no way of escaping. The only thing we could do was try to survive. This adventure started off different. We didn't start with punching trees. We started by punching grass, trying to get seeds. Because food sources are now limited, animals barely spawn. I also collected this flower as a gift to Mapicc, but he rejected it. A few moments later, we found out this was going to be a lot harder than we thought. It was all dark around with no light, so mobs could spawn everywhere. All these mobs chased us into the deeper caves, and we managed to find a mine shaft. This early in the cave world, this is the only way to get wood. So basically, we got really lucky finding this. Since wood was so scarce, we had to be careful and only use it on things we needed. We managed to survive the first night, and we started off day 2 with mining cobblestone and getting iron. Our main priority was going into the Nether, as that would be our only way of getting wood. So while Mapicc started on the portal, I started on getting us iron and all the materials we needed. The first thing we made with these materials were clocks, so we could tell the time because there was no way of seeing daylight in these caves. I then went around collecting string, as that was our only way of collecting wool to make a bed. When I got back, he had the portal made, and we got super lucky as we got exactly what we needed, a crimson forest. So we collected a few pieces of wood and then went back. And before we left, we made sure to get a few more pieces of wood. Then I made the most essential item in the game, a shield. Then we stayed our last night in the cave and headed out in the morning. When we swam up from below, we managed to find the most beautiful piece of land. This is the most fine piece of land I've ever seen. You know, I just wanna... Anyways, this land wasn't as great as I thought it was, because as soon as I entered, I almost died. This could have been the end on day 4, but luckily, creepers don't do damage in water. Oh hey Mapicc, I forgot to tell you, there's a creeper there. We were really desperate for food, so we broke as much grass as possible and started planting it as soon as possible. This bread would at least saturate us for a little while. We then left this area to find a bigger piece of land. We adventured through lots of water caves, big land, and finally found our home here. We thought it would be a really cool idea to indent our home in this mountain. On day 5, we built our way up there, and when we got up, we felt it. We knew this would be home. We started off by making a little place we can make our farm. Then we torched the place up so no monsters could spawn. Then Mapicc started brainstorming ideas for the house while I went and got materials for him. And going by myself was probably one of the worst ideas I've had yet. There were just non-stop mobs from everywhere. And this shield was carrying me. It was the only thing protecting me. But like they say, not all things can last forever. The shield could not protect me anymore. So I ran and broke myself a little cave. I then realized I was at half a heart and checked if I had any food, but I had none. I had to be really careful. At half a heart and only with iron armor, anything hits me and I'm dead. Desperate to find anything that could save me, I searched my inventory again, but still found nothing. Finally, on day 6, I came up with a plan. I found my location with my cords and then sent them to Mapicc. And him hearing I was at half a heart, he rushed to me as fast as he could. And like Mapicc always is, he's a simp, and then gave me some bread. I'm just kidding. Please, Mapicc, don't get mad at me. And on day 7, things started turning for the worst. From Mapicc's adventure down here, he had lost all his saturation. This was just great. This was so great. We stayed down here for half of day 7, growing bread and eating it over and over and over. And after that small inconvenience, we got started on our project again. Luckily, it wasn't that hard because the only material we needed was diorite and it was everywhere. Hehe, little does Mapicc know we got stuck with a hard job. Alright, saying that might have caused me a little bit of karma because a skeleton 360, no! Again, it had happened, and sooner than I thought. I only had a heart and a half left, with mobs surrounding me from every side. And with my sword almost broken, I could not defend against them all. The only thing I could do here is dig a little hole. I stayed in here until day 8, until I had the confidence to come out. I tried to escape, but very cautiously. I did this by placing blocks everywhere around me so I didn't get shot. Even though, when I tried to dig out, there were skeletons everywhere around me trying to shoot me, so I couldn't go anywhere. And if I tried to fall from this height, I would risk either dying from fall damage or getting shot by skeletons. And while trying to place a torch to make the mobs go away, I got shot by a skeleton. Luckily, I survived. And my luck almost ran out as I got shot another time. My heart was pounding. I was at half a heart again with no food. And even though it took a while, my only way of escape was taking this little tunnel out. After a while of digging, I managed to find Mapicc. And all he had was some rotten flesh. And you know what this tasted like? This tasted like sweaty the smell of not every single animal or mob wanting to kill me in the world. So refreshing. Well, that's enough stalling. It's about time we get started on our home. We started this with filling up this wall with cobblestone. Aw, what a cute enderman on our farm. Die! I swear I'm not a manticus. You know what? Just never mind. Day 13 started like every other normal day, staring at Mapicc for hours and hours. I felt like it would be annoying just going down the grass walking down every time, so I decided to make staircases. It's easier said than done, but in the end, it worked out. On day 14, when I came up from building the stairs, I saw that Mapicc had started the build. And for those of you in the back, it's a skull, by the way. We ran out of diorite for the build, so I went to go get more. And while I was just chilling, traveling on this adventure, I actually managed to find a sheep. This was really amazing because, like I said before, animal spawns are really rare. And even though we don't have a second one now, this one will be really useful in the long run. I didn't have any wheat on me, so I dug it a little hole in the meantime while I went to go get some. And on my way up, I'm not even kidding, at least 100 mobs spawn on me every single second. And even though they did manage to take me down to 1 health, I managed to deal with them. Without a sword too. Are you impressed yet, ladies? After getting the wheat, I went down as soon as possible so the sheep didn't despawn. Then we took the sheep back up, made it blue, and named it Cheryl. And then I finished off day 15 by making a staircase all the way down the other side of the mountain. I started off day 16 by making fences so we could have a little pin for Cheryl. That's right, Cheryl. I then replaced the stone in Cheryl's pin so she could eat. Alright, it's looking like Cheryl likes her new pin. I mean, she better, or I would strip her of her wool. And yes, that's meant to be said. On day 17, the skull that Mapicc had been building was finally finished, and it looked really good. After that, I built an infinite water source so we could finally build a real farm. Luckily, I had 1 potato on me from killing the zombies. I didn't want to put our farm too far, but I also wanted to spread out our island, so I built up to this little cliff and made our potato farm here. And like in this channel I've said before, we aren't no beta. We don't build no beta potato farms. We are the alpha, and we will make the most alpha, biggest... My bad, I was just a little bit excited about the potatoes. There are 2 reasons I made this farm so big. The first reason is if we somehow along the way manage to get a villager, we get infinite emeralds. And the second way is we'll never run out of food. Since when did Minecraft turn into Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies? God, what is this? It's been 18 days and I haven't even searched for diamonds once, so I feel like it's about time. And after heading towards the sounds of lava pools for a while, I finally found the diamonds. Yes! Yeah, it's JPEX, just your fellow pro gamer here. Not wanting to get too greedy and die, I left the cave happily with 5 diamonds. On my way out, I managed to find a zombie villager, but I didn't have any golden apples to heal him. But with how many mobs are spawning, I wasn't really worried about getting one later. When I got back, it seems that Mapicc had replaced the eyes and the mouth with crimson wood. It looked pretty nice. The first thing I did with the diamonds we got was make a diamond axe, so later we could go into the nether. I also checked up on our slave sheep that, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't fed in days. Day 20 started off like any other day, cotton picking like... sorry, potato picking. My memories have been getting to me. It's been a while since we expanded our base and we needed new areas, so I decided to make a compound out of this stone. For this build, we were trying to make it kind of like a hub where everything would connect to it. But making a circle apparently is a lot easier said than done. Because that's an emerald. Then, suddenly, the most terrifying thing happened. No, stop. Oh. As you could tell, I was terrified, and I will never be doing that ever again. But on day 22, it was right back to building the compound. You would think it wouldn't be that hard for 2 high school boys to build a circle, but nope, we built a hexagon. So we destroyed it and rebuilt it again, and this time it was uneven. To finish this circle and make it complete even on all sides, it took us 5 days, and I think we might have gone a little bit crazy. Finally, we did it! We built the circle! We did it! I also might have went a little bit overboard and almost killed Mapicc. You know, I love killing my friends. In Minecraft, of course. Next, we filled it up, then outlined it in crimson wood, and lastly, built a staircase to the potato farm. The hub is finally coming together. Wait, no, not that hub. You know what? Let's just call it the compound. It was about time we went into the nether again, so I went down in the caves. And after just a bit of mining, I found a lava pool. So I placed the water on it, made the obsidian, and then mined it up. And when I got home, there was an entire Mexican family at our base. But it really wasn't that hard of a fix, I just placed torches around the ring. And with the 2 diamonds left over, I made an enchanting table. I thought it was about time we could enchant our stuff. Next, we would start on a path that would connect to the area that we were making our nether portal. This mountain connected to our build looked really weird, so I cleared it out. There we go, that looks a lot better. See, I really like this build and all, but there's one problem. Our nether portal was never gonna look good. Even Mapicc looked at me in disappointment. God, you don't have to remind me of my father. Anyways, we lit the portal and went in. When we got in, we were really disappointed that it wasn't a crimson forest. But after just digging straight down, we found the crimson forest. It was really cool, like we were in Alice in the Wonderland. There were a few close encounters with the piglins, but we managed to deal with them. Well, that's talking for myself. Mapicc on the other hand. And after exploring the nether for a little bit, we found a bastion. And apparently a pigman riding a chicken. Wait, a chicken! It looks like Mapicc really likes getting chased by mobs. I made sure to dig this chicken a little hole so it didn't escape. Alright, yep, I should definitely help Mapicc. This is going a little too far. Alright, I had to mess with him a little bit. We didn't take the chicken home right away, so it could make us enough eggs so we could have a guaranteed chicken. On day 32, while waiting for the chicken to give us more eggs, I finally found a golden apple. This means we could finally get a villager from healing the zombie villagers. When I got back, we had enough eggs and went home. And out of the 5 eggs we got, luckily we got 2 chickens. Thank God, I was kind of getting tired of eating those potatoes anyway. When I was just chilling trying to put Cheryl in her new pin, I found a zombie villager. And I rushed over there as fast as I could, but then I realized it had a green shirt, so I sadly had to kill it. L's, boys. All we're taking today is L's. We finished this house on day 13 and it's now day 33. I think it's about time we get started on it. And now was the start of the clearing process. It might have taken a while to clear this out, but trust me, in the end, it's gonna be worth it. It was almost day 40 and we still had not found a nether fortress, so going into the nether, that was my goal this time. It was a long and hard adventure with all the hoglins attacking me. That's what she said. They pushed me right into a corner with magma blocks right behind me, so anywhere I went, I would take damage. So I was forced to juke through it and run. But like I said before, we're the alpha and we showed them who's boss. I murdered the orphan too. But remember, kids, you can't just get away with killing orphans. They all tried pushing me into a corner, every mob attacking me. It left me at 2 hearts. This could have been it for me. I had to be careful, so I built up with my stone. Luckily, I had 21 potatoes and I was able to get away this time. And just a little while after that occurred, I managed to find it, the nether fortress. So I built over there as fast as I could. Right away, I saw some blazes, and while I'm here, why not get some blaze rods? I have to be way more careful. I gotta remember I'm not in diamond armor yet. And after just a little bit of searching, I found the blaze spawner. I then guarded it off and started killing the blazes. And after just a while of killing the blazes, I got my 12 blaze powder. I decided to get a little bit more extra just in case later we needed to make some potions. Then back to home it was. When I got home, I went to go check on how Mapicc was doing on our house. He welcomed me in very happily, and honestly, I'm very impressed. I haven't seen Mapicc build before, ever. He also made a really cool design where you could see through the skull. On the morning of day 42, I made a brewing stand, so we can make some potions later. Then with some ender pearls I got throughout the days and the blaze powder, I made some ender eyes. Then my next mission was to make a potion of weakness so I could heal some zombie villagers. I was really worried about where we would get the glass to make the bottles, but luckily Mapicc had some on him. And while that smelted in the furnace, I did my daily chores like feed the chickens and work on a little bit of the interior of the house. For the interior, we decided to use stone bricks and crimson wood because we really liked the combination. And after all that, I came back to the furnace and my glass was done. Out of that glass, I made some glass bottles and then put them in the brewing stand. Wait, why don't these work? Oh, that's embarrassing. They don't have water. Anyway, well, I put some water in the glass bottles and then put them in the brewing stand. Out of this, I made 3 weakness potions. But in order to make it where you could put it on the villager, you need to make it into a splash potion. And you could do that by putting the potions with some gunpowder. Out of this, I got 3 splash potions of weakness. I'll save these for later. But on day 45, it was right back to helping Mapicc with the interior of the house. Make sure to always add those little details in your builds. They just give it that little more spice. Next was placing the updoor flooring. For the interior of the space, we were really going for the intimidating design. So we made sure to get a lot of red. We also added these crimson logs to make it look like they were support beams. Then when those were done, we started on making the floors for the bottom floor. Then the next and final thing to do was to make the storage room. We made the walls 1 block back so it had a little bit of depth. Next, we just added some small little details, and this actually took a lot longer than I thought, but it made the base look a lot better. And in the end, this is the outcome of the build. I really enjoyed making this one and I really loved it. It was now day 50 and we have had iron for this entire let's play. So me and Mapicc thought it was about time we'd go searching for diamonds. And usually it takes me a while to find diamonds, but this one was actually really easy. 8 diamonds right up front. And with Mapicc's Fortune 3 pickaxe, it was so much easier getting diamonds. I don't know what's with my luck today, but I am not complaining. This left us with about 20 diamonds each, and this was more than enough for full armor. And as soon as we got home, we took off our old rusty armor and put on our new polished ones. And on day 51, since I found the diamonds, Mapicc volunteered to enchant my armor. Now preparing for the Ender Dragon fight that was coming soon, we had multiple things to do. Our main focus wasn't pearls because there were Endermen everywhere. Even when we were just casually walking around, we found Endermen, and with these, we managed to make more Eyes of Ender. Me and Mapicc remembered we were alphas and we wanted that full armor bar. So we went back in the caves for a little bit to get us a full diamond set, with tools too. And when we came home, we were no longer plebs, we were the mega alphas. And if you want to become a mega alpha yourself, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, full diamond armor and tools complete, next goal is to enchant it. And since I was a bit low on levels, I went into the nether, grabbed some quartz, and then enchanted my things. Yeah, look at these two mega alphas. The next project we would be working on for a little bit was making an elevator, so it wouldn't be so annoying to get up to our base. And while Mapicc was doing that, I went to go mine some extra ores like coal and iron. And also getting all the materials we needed to build it. This was very tedious, and all of this combined took about 4 days. But in the end it worked, and it was worth it. Never mind, did I say it worked?
Dude, I can't move. Where'd my board go? We're able to do this. So I get it go.
What have you done? We're gonna die. Like I said before, it works. Now, when I say I don't think you understand how many mobs there are in this cave, I do not think you understand. So we did what any civilized person would do and not yell and place torches everywhere so the mobs wouldn't spawn. And not even joking, to cover this entire cave, the space around us, it took about 3 days. But at least all that work was worth it. There's no more mobs. Is that a zombie? That's it. I'm done. Then finally, on day 63, we found another partner for Shelby. This meant we could have infinite wool for all of our needs. And it was actually pretty cool. When we bred them, they came out with a cyan sheep. Then we also finally started destroying this ugly staircase. Now that we had multiple colored sheep, it gave us an idea to create a rainbow sheep farm. So I went exploring to find as much colored dye as I could. And thankfully we had all the colors to make every single color, if that makes any sense. Oh, Council of Colorful Sheep, please give us your blessings. Next, we thought it was about time to make all of our animals an actual good-looking pin. We made these pins right by the nether portal, right across from each other, so it'd be way easier to get to. And of course, we still kept with the stone bricks and crimson design. Next is just moving all these big guys in there. Hold on, that could wait. Is that actually a zombie villager? Finally, it's about time. Creeper, I'm giving you one warning. If you kill that zombie villager, I swear. Never mind, looks like we got him successfully. Hey Mapicc, look, it's one useful thing I did this 100 days. We started off day 67 by naming the zombie villager so it didn't despawn in the meantime. Then I brought out my weakness potion and golden apple to heal it, and then we waited. And in the meantime, while the villager healed, we brought all the sheep to their pins. And also started collecting materials for my next build. We really wanted more things downstairs. Let's just heal that off. Anyways, like I was saying, we thought the build should go down here so it didn't look so empty. This build needed a lot of crimson wood, so I went into the nether to get some, but I might have got a little too much. The first thing we did was clear out a space for it, then we mined out the proportions of the build. This place was gonna be a trading post for the villagers, so I had to make sure it was a decent size. Next I made these capsules where the villagers would stay. And after that I got started on the roofs, and finally the build was done. It was time to move the villagers in. But before we do that, Mapicc has been in the nether this entire time getting us netherite. What a cool dude. So of course I went to go upgrade my armor right away. We counted down to put our last netherite piece on, and then we got the achievement. Now we were prepared. It was about time that we would go into the end. So I enchanted more of my stuff and got more materials, then went and crafted the last few Eyes of Ender we needed, then went and said goodbye to our base, for which could be the last time. And now, our adventure had set off. And after just a few days of exploring, we found it, and went in. Me and Mapicc looked around the end, worried about what was to come. Even knowing that, we still built over, and the fight had now started. We started by taking out his only source of healing, one by one. As the dragon pushed down, it started pouring its juices on us. Whoa, that's not what I meant. As time ticked by, there was only one tower left, but I started getting attacked by all endermans. With every passing second, they ticked my damage down. I had to run. With only one thing to do, I placed my water down so they could not attack me. After killing off the Ender Dragon's warriors, I only had one enemy left. The Ender Dragon. As it perched down, it was finally time. We had destroyed the crystals and it could not heal anymore. He was tired of us hitting him, so he pushed us into his dragon breath. But we would not let him get away that easy and started shooting bow shots at him. The final seconds came faster than we thought as it perched down again and we started doing massive amounts of damage. At this point in the fight, we were now the hunters. And as I shot continuous bow shots at him, his health got lower and lower. Until I released the last one. We did it. We tried our hardest and beat the Ender Dragon. Now it was time to go home and rest. Oh, what a beautiful game. Yeah. Skip the credits. As soon as we got back, the first thing we decided to do was risk it all. But thank God I'm such a pro. Then we found the dragon egg and collected it. And for now, we just placed it in the center of the compound because later we had a really cool build for it. With these levels in the books I got from the dungeon, I decided to enchant all my things. And on day 77, I was AFK and I started getting pushed by Mapicc. Yeah, you didn't think I would catch you, did ya? Yeah, run away. It's been a day since we beat the Ender Dragon, so I thought it was about time we'd start getting back to work. It was finally about time we got this guy out of here. It's been days. And if you're asking me, no, it wasn't that hard to get him in his cell. Get in your dread cell. Anyways, like I said, it was pretty easy putting him in there. Now we all actually had to do was, put mending on this guy. Let's hope this doesn't take a while. It did, by the way. It actually took a couple days. But it was worth it because on day 83, we got the mending book. But for a very expensive price. And we didn't have to work very hard to get a second villager. It came right to us. So I got my spare golden apple and weakness potion and healed him up. After waiting a while for him to heal, he actually sold us potatoes, which was perfect. But in the meantime, while our potatoes grow, I decided to add a crimson outline to the pins too. Now that the villagers are done with for a while, I decided it was about time to make an Ender Dragon egg build. But before that, here's me, breaking dirt and replacing it. Okay. For this build, I needed a lot of quartz, so I decided to go in the Nether for a little while. And after a couple days of breaking, I finally had enough. And while I was doing this, Mapicc was in the process of getting a lot of iron for a beacon we were gonna make for this build. Now we had everything we needed but one for the build. All we needed was the Nether star. So we dug down as deep as we could and started placing the soul sand. And next, we released the wither. We waited for it to heal up, and as soon as it did, we started spamming arrows at it. And while the wither was blowing up everything, we started attacking it with our swords. But then, our world almost ended. It shot two straight at me. But then, as soon as I healed, I went straight back to attacking it, and then we did it. We finally beat the wither. We got the Nether star, so we went back home. And as soon as we got home, I got started on the build for the Ender Egg. This build, I wanted to make it look like the Ender Egg was getting displayed. And I made cool side pillars with stairs and slabs. Then I just did the same thing on all sides, and then we lit up our beacon. And I am extremely happy with this build because I've been planning this since day 1. And on day 91, I thought it was about time I started destroying this cobblestone path that the lava made. There we go, that looks a lot better. And while I was doing that, Mapicc was collecting the potatoes, so he gave me the emerald so I could trade with the villagers. And the first thing I put the mending on was my pickaxe. Then I started shearing the sheep for a cool build I was gonna do. Right above the sheep farm, I was building a wool rainbow sheep. The head was done, and now it was just time to finish it off with the face. And honestly, I was really impressed with this build. It looks exactly like a sheep. I really like the way this one turned out, so I decided to make one for the chicken coop too. And this is how the chicken one turned out. I really liked both of these builds. And real quickly before the days ended, I really wanted to make a nether portal build, so I had to build it fast. And while I was doing that, Mapicc was making a villager breeder. This nether portal took a couple days to build, but in the end, I think it turned out pretty well. And surprisingly enough, Mapicc also somehow finished his build too. And so, we were satisfied with everything we had done in this 100 days, so for the rest of these 3 days, we just chilled and had fun. Thank you so much to all of you that watched the video all the way through, and if you guys want to see 200 days, make sure to get this video to 50k likes. And if you want to support me, this video took so long to make, so make sure to subscribe below so you never miss any new videos. One last thing, make sure to join my Discord below if you want to interact and talk with me. Anyways, that's gonna be all for this video, see you on the next one.